Hey, what's up guys? Kai here, and welcome to another channel update video where I like to take a few minutes from time to time and update you all on what's been going on with my channel, as well as make any announcements I may have regarding upcoming LPs and any future plans for the channel itself. Now before we get started, I want to know what you guys think about making these types of videos something a little bit more consistent and regular. Maybe a weekly or bi-weekly Q&A session with me? Let me know what you think about that idea in the comment section below, and if you have any questions you'd like me to answer, then feel free to go ahead and ask them in the comments below as well. Now, before we get the ball rolling here, I have some very special shoutouts that I'd like to give. And before I go into that, a little bit of a disclaimer is that all the channels I'm about to mention, I will provide links to both in the video description down below, as well as point you to the direction of my recommended panel, because the links to these people's channels have also been added there as well. So the first person I want to give a shout out to is a friend of mine that I work with. He goes by the name Bezlonir, and he very recently started his LP channel back up after an extended break. And while we have similar tastes in RPGs, my channel has been focused on old school console RPGs, and his channel is made up of primarily old school PC RPGs. But you should still go over there and check his channel out. I highly recommend it. The next person I want to give a shout out to is Matthew Griffin over at Novaura Autism, who is currently playing Final Fantasy VI, and you guys know how much I love me some FF6. Oh man. Interestingly enough, we also play on the same server in Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, so that was pretty cool to find out. Again, we have similar tastes in RPGs, so I recommend going to his channel and checking things out there. And last, but certainly not least, I have to give a special shout out to my good friend Rabbit, who very recently surpassed the 1,000 subscriber mark, and not only does she totally deserve that number, but so much more. So that's about it for shoutouts. I wanted to get those out of the way before I forget, because you guys know how easily I get sidetracked. And I also wanted to take a quick minute because I've noticed I've gained quite a few subscribers since I've been gone, so I want to officially say thank you and welcome to the channel, those of you who are recently joining us. You know who you are. Okay, so the first thing I want to delve into primarily pertains to those of you who do not follow me on Facebook. Those of you who do have already heard this before, and it's old news. Now, if you don't follow me on Facebook, I encourage you to, because not only is it a good place to get information and updates where videos aren't necessarily warranted, but sometimes I like to get into discussions and ask polls and get your input on things, so it's a good way to get involved with the channel. As well as it's get in contact with me if you have any questions, comments, game requests, or if you just want to say, hey, what's up, Kai? You know, Facebook is another avenue for that. And I provide a link to that page in the video description of all of my videos, and it's also provided on my actual YouTube page, so it's just a few clicks away regardless of where you are. So like I said, the first thing I want to talk to mostly pertains to you guys who are unaware of why I've been gone for the past month and a half, I want to say. And the reason is because I've been in the middle of moving, and I didn't want to risk getting burned out trying to juggle work, a move, and maintaining a YouTube channel all at once, because moving is stressful enough. While I've done it many times actually, it's still very taxing. Maybe not physically, but mentally, it's definitely a drain, and I didn't want to overexert myself or just get bogged down with too much shit, because work during the holidays is bad enough, and I didn't want to add to that, you know? So I took some time off to get everything in order, and as of Wednesday, today's Friday by the way, February 9th, as of Wednesday, 2 days ago, I'm officially moved into my new place. So it's just me and the kitties, who are... Okay, Yeah, they're staring at me. They're hungry. I haven't fed them yet, so I'm getting the death look from Lenneth and Raimi. But yeah, it's just me and my girls. By the way, if the acoustics are a little different, that's why. New room, new place, new setup, new angles, all that good stuff. So if the sound is a little wonky, let me know in the comment section or send me a message so I can fix that before I actually start uploading. Which, as of right now, I want to ask you guys to give me a few more days to get fully unpacked and settled in and caught up on some rest, and we will continue with Breath of Fire. I think that takes priority now because that's what I left off doing. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging on Breath of Fire. So this leads into my next topic of short-term plans for the channel. Obviously, we have the continuation of Breath of Fire up first, and I want to say we are roughly a third of the way through the game. Those of you who are wondering where we stand, it's going to be roughly the same amount of episodes as my Lufia LP. I'd say in the neighborhood of 40 and 45 episodes for the completion of Breath of Fire. We're not quite at the third of the way through, but we're close enough to where we can use that marker. As I said at the end of the last video I uploaded, we finished Chapter 1, we have the intro out of the way, so now it's time for Chapter 2, which is the main bulk of the storyline. So you can look forward to that either later in the week or possibly by next weekend. We'll see how my work schedule looks. Now, to follow Breath of Fire, my original plan was to hit you guys with my special mystery LP. However, unfortunately, I had to take Raimi to the vet earlier this week, and those of you who are pet owners know how expensive that can be. So my extra funds are a little low right now, so I'm going to push that project back and tentatively aim for early spring. Yeah, I think that's a good estimate as to when you can expect that LP. Now, the good news to that is that my 1-year channel anniversary special has been expedited to follow Breath of Fire. And I'm not going to wait till the end of March, which is the actual 1-year anniversary mark, because it is a 2-part channel update project, and I want to get started on that as soon as possible. Now, when I say channel update project, this is something I briefly talked about earlier, I think in my Lufia LP, or maybe the Final Fantasy VI LP? I can't remember when I talked about it, but I did at some point. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing another Let's Play for the first 2 games I ever LP'd, those being Phantasy Star 4 for the Sega Genesis and Final Fantasy VI for the Super Nintendo. And the reason I want to go back and redo those is because when I first started doing LPs, I didn't have the best setup. I was using my headset microphone, which was ghetto fabulous, and as was pointed out to me, sounded like I was using a webcam microphone, aka it was pretty balls. Since then, as you know, I've invested some money into an actual microphone, and the difference has been night and day. I'm very happy with the quality of my commentary as of now. And as you guys are also aware, my main goal has been to provide videos that are both entertaining, at least I hope I'm entertaining to you guys, as well as delivering them with the best quality that I can within my ability, both in the video department and the audio department. So I want to go back to those games, revisit them, and do an updated LP so I can fulfill that promise that I made to you guys so long ago, because while the gameplay is fine and the video aspect is fine, it just doesn't live up to my standards, especially knowing that I can do better. I want to strive for that and deliver that to you guys, the viewers. Now, here's the thing though. I know some of you are wondering why I'm going to be doing games a second time over, because it may seem like a waste of time. And I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to put a twist on things, as it were, and do challenge runs for those 2 games to make them different and unique. And because of that, I'm going to keep the playlist separately. Well, I should say I'm not going to get rid of my old LP playlists. I'm going to keep them where they are and just make new playlists for the new versions of the LPs, because they are going to be different, even though they're the same games. Now, challenge run could mean a lot of things to different people. So I'm going to take a quick minute to clarify briefly what those means. For Final Fantasy VI, which I'm going to be doing first, I'm going to be doing a playthrough with no Magicite. If you've played the game before and are familiar with it, then you can already assume what that entails. And if you're not familiar with the game, real quickly, it just means I will not be using Magicite to summon espers in battle or learn new spells. Well, some characters learn spells naturally as they level, but I won't have access to all the spells to all the characters, I should say. And I will not be using Magicite to boost my stats upon gaining levels. But I'm not too worried about it because I'm a master at Final Fantasy VI, so yeah. Now notice I said a master, not the master. You gotta give me a little credit here, I'm not that arrogant. But all the same, even if it is a self-proclaimed master title, I'm still a master nonetheless. And I'm looking forward to the challenge. I think it'll be really fun not having access to, well, I should say immediate access to the same overpowered strategies and tactics I showed you guys last time. And as far as Phantasy Star 4 is concerned, I had two options. The first of which being a modded version of the game, which is aptly called Hell Mode, which is very, very similar to Universe Mode in Star Ocean 2, or say 4D mode in Star Ocean 3, where all of the enemies have been made immune to instant death, debuffs, and crowd control, in addition to having their stats multiplied by a very, very large amount. Just to give you an idea, I got a game over screen in the first battle in the game. Yeah, newbie dungeon, first battle, got my ass kicked. I was totally not expecting it to be that hard. Now the other option I had with Phantasy Star 4, and this is what I'm leaning towards, is to just do a playthrough using no buffs, whether that be from spells or from using items in battle to produce spell effects. Let me know what you guys think about which version I should play, because we have time between then and now to make a final decision. If you guys want to see me play Hell Mode, I will. If you want to see me just do a casual, laid-back, no buffs run of the game, I'll do that too. I mean, I'll do both eventually. There's no question about that. But yeah, give me your feedback on that. Now, I'm thinking that both of those projects will take us through not only March, which is the actual anniversary, but a little bit afterwards, which is why I planned the mystery LP for spring. Now, assuming that goes well, and I get that LP up and running, that's going to take up, oh man, it's a very long, well, it's not a long game, but it's made by Tri-Ace, so that's your only clue, by the way, as to what the game is. And if you're familiar with Tri-Ace games, you know how detailed they are and how much effort they put into the little things. And there's just so many things you can do in this particular game that it's going to run a little while. So we'll say that'll take up the rest of spring, and we'll say early summer. Oh yeah, by the way, we shifted topic into long-term plans. Sorry about that, guys. So long-term plans for my channel, I want to do 2 other games that were not released outside of Japan. Well, I take that back. One of them was ported over here to the States, I think on the Game Boy Advance as well as the Sony PlayStation, but both of those versions suck total balls, and I will be playing the original Super Nintendo Japanese versions for both of these games. In English, don't worry, I do have them translated. Again, I'm not going to reveal those as of now because I want them to be a surprise, but I'm very excited to do them for a number of reasons. Some of them may be obvious, some of them may not be obvious, but you can look forward to those, like I said, roughly around the summertime, and that should take us up through to the end of the year, where I want to do something fun, wonky, ridiculous, lighthearted, and right now I am looking at Final Fantasy V, which is actually what I'm playing in the background for you guys. So let's see, yeah, that about wraps up everything as far as announcements go. So again, I do want to take another minute and another opportunity to thank you guys for bearing with me and apologizing for my extended absence. And I want to say that I really do appreciate it, you guys, sticking with me for another month and a half. I mean, before then, my upload schedule was very unpredictable. However, that's going to change as well, because now I can record when I want for however long as I want. So another good reason for me coming back and moving is that uploads will be much more frequent and not hit and miss. So let's see, we got that out of the way. We got shout outs, announcements. Yeah, I think yeah, we're done. We're good. As Lena says, we must go. But before I wrap up this video and sign off, I want to say thank you guys for watching, and we have a lot of good stuff to look forward to this year. We have more LPs, we have more bad jokes, more movie references, and of course, a lot more F-bombs. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, you guys, take care.